We can, in the next 20 years, create a truly global society. I think everybody recognizes we're in the biggest economic and social change since the Industrial Revolution. I think behind the credit crunch and what's happening to oil and food prices around the world, people sense we're in the biggest restructuring of the global economy we have seen in our history. I think people also sense that there's a shift of power taking place from west to east as Asia is in the ascendant, rising as an economy.
The Bush administration is pushing and pushing hard. A partnership between the United States and Mexico and Canada with a goal of what it calls integration by 2010. This partnership among three nations is being discussed at the highest levels of the three governments at the urging of the largest multinational corporations. But it is barreling ahead with absolutely no congressional oversight, no voter approval, out of sight completely of the American people, and as far as we can determine, without any constitutional authority whatsoever. Christine Romans reports.
Congressman Virgil Goode wants to stop the Security and Prosperity Partnership.
It will lead to a union between Canada, the United States, and Mexico, and it will greatly harm the sovereignty of the United States. It is part of the open borders philosophy to do away with borders, and I vigorously oppose it.
Launched in 2005, it's a dramatic government and business effort to, quote, harmonize regulations. The president promised no matter who the players are in Washington, Mexico City, and Ottawa, this bureaucracy is meant to endure.
I appreciate the commitment of the Prime Minister and the President toward a spirit of partnership to outlast whatever politics may occur.
To critics, outlasting politics means skirting Congress and the will of the American people in secrecy. It took a Freedom of Information request to find out what happened in Banff last fall. Closed to the press, the North American Forum was attended by the highest levels of business and government. The conservative group Judicial Watch found
this is a forum where the push is for taxes, the push is for open borders, the push is for investment funds for Mexico. So all the talk is on one side of the equation.
Among the notes the Pentagon released of the meeting, a goal of integration and, quote, open borders for industry and investment. North America needs to be more competitive, and yet security goals seem to interfere with this outcome. And the admission most people are not compelled by North American integration need to identify steps that demonstrate the concept and success. Numerous documents advocate open borders between and a secure perimeter around the three countries, taking what's called a continental vision. It is a vision Congressman Goode does not share. He will introduce this week a resolution opposing the Security and Prosperity Partnership. Lou?
And some mindless and uninformed people are suggesting that this is not even occurring. I saw a number of articles suggesting, well, this North American Union just isn't happening. It's a fiction, as some wild conspiracy theory. Yet it is absolutely documented. This administration continues to deny what is happening right in front of us, although it is happening with stealth and with secrecy. It's happening.
2/3 of Americans say it's not worth fighting. So you don't care what the American people think?
No, I think you cannot be blown off course by the fluctuations in the public opinion polls. There has, in fact, been fundamental change and transformation and improvement for the better. That's a huge accomplishment.
I think this country, a movement in the last 100 years, is moving toward fascism. Fascism today, the softer term, because people have different definitions of fascism, is corporatism, where the military-industrial complex runs the show. When they, in the name of security, pass the Patriot Act, you don't vote for it. You know, you're not patriotic America. If you don't support the war, you don't support the troops. It's that kind of antagonism. But we have more corporatism and more abuse of our civil liberties, more loss of our privacy, national ID cards, all this stuff coming has a fascist tone to it. And the country's moving in that direction.
Analysts at Independent Strategy believe that socialism has taken over in Washington. Bob McKee and the team say only countries like North Korea and Cuba are more socialist than the United States now in the wake of the Freddie and Fannie bailout, and see bigger public debt and a more difficult mortgage market as a result. To quote, the United States will have 75% of its current housing finance and the majority of its remaining capital allocation being financed with credit that is directly and indirectly the result of government and Fed intervention.
Congressman Paul.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Welcome, Chairman Bernanke. There's a political philosophy that advocates the merging together of the interests of business and government. At the same time, with a loss of civil liberties of the people, especially since 9/11, there has been some loss of civil liberties that we shouldn't be unconcerned about. There are warrantless searches. There's no really financial privacy or medical privacy in this country. Habeas corpus has been challenged, as well as the internet privacy is being challenged. So civil liberties have been challenged. I see what we're doing today, or at least a proposal by Treasury, as a massive move for a lot closer association of business and government. Most everybody's aware of the military-industrial complex and the combination of how military contractors and government are in bed together. Now we have a medical-industrial complex. The media is very much involved with government, as well as just about everything that we have, government and businesses are very much involved. The original purpose of our government was not for the government to regulate the people, because there really isn't any authority to people for the government to tell us what to do with our civil liberties or to run our businesses. I mean, if we believe in the marketplace, the market is supposed to be self-regulating, and there can be a case made for that. But we have embarked for many years in this effort to have the government do all the regulating. But from my viewpoint and the viewpoint of many others, we should be regulating the government. And we essentially don't. I mean, when you think about the authority, you as a chairman of the Federal Reserve and what the Federal Reserve can do, I mean, it really goes unaudited and very, very little oversight. It's like we've really given up on the republic, you know, freedom and the marketplace and sound money, and all we accept is more encroachment of our civil liberties, more collusion between business and government, and it looks like this is a massive increase in the combination of government and big business.